back on track, working on another project. This one involving the little wood slots, the little boards that you have in front of the companionway. On Reverie, those were completely disintegrated, I guess, over the years. They were never really maintained. So it was basically a wafer of a board with the screws sticking out. So I took them out and used the one as a template to buy a little bit of teak and create some new slots that I'm going to install. Now, one thing I want to do is make sure that I line them up properly. So I'm going to pre-drill all the holes on the boards before I go and install them on Reverie. So the way I'm doing that is I'm basically clamping them together, and I'm going to measure them and drill the pilot holes on each, and then drill the little recess for the screw heads. So to make them even, what I did is I used a square and I butted them against the square, line them up with the edge, as you can see there, and then I clamp them together to make sure that they're same setup all the way through. And I'm going to drill 5 holes on each one of these, and then I'll finish the balance. Okay, so measuring this is about 16.5 inches. So I need to be about 8.25. And of course I nail the spot with the clamp. So I'm gonna have to move the clamp over. Actually, it's gonna be easier to measure and mark the board I'm gonna be using as my guide. 16.5. I'm marking from the bottom of the board. So center is going to be right about there. And then I'm going to put 2 other screws. So I have basically 8 inches, but I'm going to put one about 1 inch from the end. And then one halfway in between. Mark this side. 7.5 from that point. So I need 3.5 plus an 8. So let's go 1, 2, 3 and a half plus an 1/8 is going to be right about there. And from this side, 1, 2, 3.5 plus an 1/8 is going to be right about there. So that gives me equidistant dots to drill, or have the screws go in. So now go back and reset. As I'm drilling underneath. So I'm going to line up one more piece of wood. This is a scrap piece, so I don't damage the top as I'm drilling through. So this little doohickey I'm using here is to create an indentation on the wood to help the drill stay center as I get started. All right. Okay. We have our first batch, and you can see where initially I blew that for not having that additional piece of wood. No big deal, I'll fix that. But all the other ones came out nice and clean. So I'm going to do that with the rest of the boards. Okay. All right, so now we have all our boards drilled, and we're going to preset the depth for the screw head. I'm going to use a small one. So to install these boards, we're using a number 10 screw. And as you can see, it has a round head. So what we want to do is have it recess. You know, if you see in this scrap piece of wood. So we want the screw to sit inside of the wood, so only the head is flush. So to do that, we're going to use this tool. I don't even know what the proper name for it is. Scrap piece of wood. Now this does not seem to be big enough, so I'm going to go one size bigger. This is a number 6. I'm going to use a number 8. And let's see the difference. I'm going to actually just drill on this one here. And let's see how it fits. There you go. So now you see that's the right size because it sits nicely and flat. I just have to make sure I don't go too deep. And there's plenty of meat to go into the fiberglass underneath. So this will be full of sealant. So I'm going to use that head and drill all of the boards to make sure that we are all set. To try that, so go right into the hole. Actually, that's not bad at all. So I have to go a little bit deeper, but once I figure out the right depth, and from there on everything is repetition. And with every project, guys, the key is you go slow. Once you figure out you have it right, then you can accelerate. There you go. I think that's, maybe go just a hair deeper, but then that's our right depth. And actually on the ones I messed up, it actually covers most of it, so we're good to go. So I'm gonna finish doing this, and then we'll go to the boat, and we'll go to Reverie, and then we'll get this thing installed. I'm going to start working on this project. Now, this is something I started a long time ago, and I put in blue tape, and now you're going to find out what happens when you leave blue tape on for a very long time. It's a pain in the butt to take it off because it just disintegrates. But you know, that couldn't be helped. We got into hurricane season, and then there was nothing else that I could do, and I just left it in there. Other priorities took place. But today we're going to take it off. And we're just gonna get working on it and hopefully get all the slots put in pretty quickly. So you can see I basically filled all the holes from the prior wood strips with thickened epoxy so I can re-drill them. But I had left the tape on, and now I have to take it off. And as you can see here, where I started is just, you know, just completely falls apart, so this is going to take me a little bit of time. I mean, it comes out easy now if I just scratch it with my nail, but you know, it's a long strip of tape. This one, I was able to start pulling it, but you know, immediately gets to the wet spot, it just falls apart. So I'm going to clean that up and bring it back on as soon as I do that. Okay, so I'm working from the inside of the boat just because it's better than kneeling down, and I can stand up on this side. And basically what I'm doing is I'm using a little rubber scrubby brush, some acetone, and this is a spray bottle that I bought specifically for acetone. It is made by Chapin, and is designed to take the acetone and not melt like a regular plastic spray bottle. After a while, the acetone will just eat through it. This is designed to take it. And it has a little nice little pump and a spray nozzle, so it puts a very fine mist. And I just did the one side, I sprayed it, scrubbed it with a brush, vacuumed the debris quickly, and then wet it again, and then wipe it clean with a paper towel so my hull doesn't turn blue. But you can see how that side came out nice and clean. Now I'm going to repeat the process on this side and clean that whole surface, so when I drill and screwed and seal, everything works out as intended. All right. Now, if you still have anything that's still showing blue, just spray it again. You know, get a clean side of the paper towel, or get a clean paper towel and keep wiping until you get all the color off. Okay. Now I'm going to finish cleaning this up and getting it ready to start applying the wood slots. We have our area that we're going to be working on nice and clean. Now I have to mark, so I line the boards correctly on the edges, and then space in the appropriate width. So I cover all holes that have been already filled, and hopefully everything will look good. So the challenge with everything on a boat is that everything on a boat has a curve somewhere. So this is the companionway entrance, so there's a curve going this way, so the boards are not perfectly flat on the surface. So the trick is going to be to get them centered, or get the first one started and then use that to guide the rest, or center them all, drill the holes, lock them in on the center, then drill the holes on the side, and basically fill in the gap. But I still have to measure, so I have equidistance between each one of the slots. You see, this one is narrower than this one, and so on. But once it's all in place, I mean, it's going to look phenomenal. And it gives you a nice surface to basically, you know, one, not skid, and two, clean your feet before you get down. So I got to play a little bit with this, and maybe what I'm going to do is get the first board set, make sure that is centered side to side, and center where the old board used to be, and then use that as the guide to get the rest of the boards put in place. All right. So what I did is line it up with the center of the emblem, and then use a straight edge to kind of guide the rows coming in. And as far as spacing, I just eyeballed it. So I went for what looked good. It's kind of similar placing where it was the old board, and I screwed in the center screw. So now I'm going to check it, make sure it looks correct, and then I'm going to finish drilling all the other holes, and then I'll take all the screws out and seal the final step, seal and screw it for permanent placement. So far so good. So let's keep working. I'm doing each side one at a time because I'm bending the wood. As I mentioned earlier, this is not straight or flat, so there's a curve. So I need to bring the wood down on each side and keep drilling. Okay, last one. Notice that I'm pushing the board down so the hole ends up in the right place. If I don't push the boards down as I'm drilling, then the hole is going to be off where it needs to be. So you got to push the board down while you're drilling so the screws goes into the right place. So I'm going to finish drilling all of these, and then I'll move to the final step, which is basically seal the wood. Now, if you notice, I'm not drilling very far down. I'm trying to go through the deck, but not the liner. I'll do this side first. Okay, so we got all of our wood put back on. This wood was treated with Semco. So all I have to do is, every couple months just give it another treatment. What I'm going to do now is get some 4200 or 4000 and seal where the screws are going in and around that area so we don't get any water going down. And that should be the end of this project. So it's looking pretty good. This is what it looks like from the other side. So little by little, one more project done. So now this is all looking nice. Got our wood trim, our slots to hold our companionway doors. And now we got our steps, so our companionway base here. So this looks and feels great. Well, I think that's going to be it for today. I'm not going to torture you with me pulling each board out and sealing it. I'm just going to take care of that, and that'll be the conclusion of this project. A couple other things I've been doing in Reverie is, taking care of some minor electrical projects that I had. One of them being installing a light on the cockpit. So one of the things I wanted to take care of was have some light on the cockpit for when we come in at night, and have it be ready instead of me trying to read the lock at night or turn my phone. So I installed this LED. There's a matching one on the stern side of the boat with a little switch. The switch is lighted. You can't see it because there's too much light. But when you push it, it'll give me a nice blue LED. I have to replace the inspection hatch, which is never really locked or stayed in place. So I couldn't find the right size on the round one because this is a really odd size. So I ended up buying a square one. So I'm going to cut the whole square, and I'm going to install that hatch. That's going to be another little project I'm going to take care of here in the next day or so. But I'm trying to spend every single day, come to the boat and get one little thing done. And sometimes when you get busy, I mean, we've been through the 2 hurricanes, and that sucked everything out of my life for about 3-4 months. Part of it because I had to take care of our home, which was severely damaged, but also I'm part of the board of directors for the community I live in, and I had to help with the restoration because we've never gone through anything like it. So that completely sucked the life and my time for about 4 months. So now I'm back on Reverie, trying to get all of my projects done. So every day I come in and I get one little thing done, and eventually I'm going to have all of it completed. So I'm pretty happy with the progress. I adjusted some of the lights inside the cabin yesterday, which were not set all the way, and I knew they were that way. I just didn't have time to finish it. But now I'm making time to finish it because I want to get it all done. So with that, folks, please subscribe to our channel. We continue to post videos on the different projects we're doing here for Reverie. And also we post videos of the beautiful boats that either I'm selling or I get an opportunity to get on board and share what those boats look like and what are some of the features. Also be on the lookout. I did a video on a Bavaria 40 sports cruiser, a very nice little yacht. And I did a walkthrough, and I did a, that's the right boat for you. So watch out for those 2. They're going to be coming up this week. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next episode.